I also wrote her a text message, but she didn't answer. Okay.
All right. So this is the second quiz. And so we should
Okay.
be able to, on this first one, answer now true. We're doing it together.
Okay.
So then let's just take every other one. We can give our answer, and then if the other person disagrees, we can work through it. Okay. So,
Okay.
Where did I go here? I'm not sure where I went, but which of the following variables are categorical? So the toothpaste, what type of toothpaste is not numerical, so it's categorical? You agree?
Okay. Yes, a randomly selected brand of toothpaste at a convenience store, right?
Right.
Okay, I agree. Okay, question 3. The mean first quartile test score in 1 quarter test score in the United States is 100. 20 randomly selected statistics students took an 1 quarter test, and the mean of their scores was 112. Which of the following statement is or are true? Um, it is 100 is a parameter and 112 is an statistics. Because the statistics describe a sample and a parameter describes an entire population, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Rotham City has 4 distinct neighborhoods. The property value are very similar within each neighborhood, but they vary considerably from neighborhood to neighborhood. One neighborhood has very low property values, another has extremely high property values. Property taxes are usually roughly proportional to the property values. What type of sample would we collect to gauge the residents' response as to a proposed increase in property taxes? So that would be a stratified sample, which is you take a random sample from each of the areas, each of the
Okay.
4. You agree?
I agree. I
Okay.
agree with you. Okay. Now, following number 5. When design experiments are conducted in a public school system, researchers typically choose a particular district and randomly select teachers of, say, 4th grade students in that district. The experiment is then conducted using all the students in the selected classes. Which type of sampling scheme is implemented? Okay, a cluster sample, because we're talking about all items in one or more randomly selected cluster or blocks, right?
Yep, I agree. So number 6, at a school fundraiser, the name of every person who attended was entered into a drawing. At the end of the evening, 6 names were selected to receive door prizes. Which type of sampling scheme was implemented? And that should be a simple random sample because they just took it randomly.
Okay,
You agree?
I agree.
Okay, next.
Next. 7, right?
Right.
A special interest group is conducted a survey regarding wolves in Yellowstone National Park to adequately gauge
Gauge.
opinions on both, how do you say?
Gauge.
Gauge, thank you. Opinions on both sides of the political spectrum. The researchers took the list of registered Democrats and selected a simple random sample of 100 people. Then they took a list of registered Republicans and selected a simple random sample of 100 people. Which type of sampling scheme was implemented? Uh, it was a stratified random sample in question 7 because they divided into groups, right? In similar groups, and then did a random sample with them, right?
Yep. So because we've already done the work, I don't think we need to get out the actual Excel spreadsheet here. But when I did, I got the mean was 4.771. So as long as you agree with that, I think we can move on.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay.
I did it, and it was the answer I got. I agree with you.
Okay.
Question 9, I also did that, and I got 1.912.
Good. And then I did the histogram when we used that Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so the next one, Jessica Meir and her research team measured the body temperatures of a sample diving elephant seal. The thermistor was placed at a specific location in each seal to measure its body temperature. The body temperature of seals tend to decrease as they dive. The researchers estimated the typical body temperature of each seal at the time they initiated dive and called this the representative temperature of the seal. Thermistors were placed in the hepatic sinus of 4 of the seals named Bodil, Roberta, Larry, and Pierre. The seal body temperatures at the start of the dive was calculated to be, and it's right there. Complete the following table and use your work to answer the next 4 questions. What is the value of the number that goes in the position marked with an A? So when you added up those 4 body temperatures, Bodil, Roberta, Larry, and Pierre, and the mean of those is 38.075. And so you take 37.91 minus 38.075 to get negative 0.165, where A would be in the chart.
Okay, you know, I got it. I got it wrong because maybe I did something wrong.
Did it give you the
I
wrong?
was
It showed it wrong though when you took the first test too, right?
yes.
Okay. So does that make sense how we did that?
Okay, yes.
So we get the mean first by adding these 4 up.
Yes,
Divide by
and the
4.
mean is okay. I got it 38.08.
Yeah, it was 0.075. It was a little bit. That's probably why you were off.
Oh,
Because it was 38.075 something, like 4. And so we're rounding the 3 decimals, so they'd be 38.075. And that's probably why you were off.
maybe that was right. Okay. Then,
But I got that one right the first time on the first time I took the test. So that is the right answer.
okay. I agree with you that it was rounding, right?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I will go. Let me go to the next one. Yes. Oh, I got the next one wrong also. What is the value of the number that goes in the position marked with D in the table above? Round your answers to 3 decimal places. Hmm. Okay, I got here
What answer did you?
0.689.
Yeah. So what did you have here in
Sorry.
this
Oh, okay. I got minus 0.83. Oh, that's what I did wrong.
Yeah.
I rounded.
Did
Oh,
you do this manually or were you using the spreadsheet?
so I did it manually.
Okay.
That,
So I think that it all started with what your mean was. That's probably just off because you had 38.08. So
okay,
the rounding is what is all that was wrong, because if you look at this, right, you got in this first column here next to Roberta, it's 37.25 minus
okay,
um, minus the mean, which is 38.075. So that's 0.825 negative. And then
yes,
put that to square, and it's 0.68, and then the 6 rounds that to 1, so it's 0.681.
okay, I got it. Thank you. Okay, let me go to here. Thank you. I agree with you. Thank you. Mhm.
Okay. What quantity is equal to the sum of the numbers in the squared deviations column? So when you take what number is equal to the sum of the numbers in the squared, you, adding up the sum of the numbers here doesn't do um, isn't really called anything. It's just it's the sum of the numbers squared. So that's not the mean, because you have to divide it by 4 to get the mean. This um, it's not the standard deviation, because you have to take the square root of that to get the standard deviation. And I don't know what the variance is, but it's none of these is correct.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Thank you. The
Okay.
following, what is the standard deviation of these temperatures? Um, I got 0.715 because I did the formula and I got a number that is the standard deviation of these temperatures.
Okay, I agree. I actually use the
Okay,
spreadsheet there because I know that sometimes sometimes you can get a different number there than when you manually do it. Because I got 0.619 when I did it manually, but that's because it was using these rounded numbers. And so I used the Excel and I got the same numbers used. So that's good.
okay, thank you.
Um, 15, under certain circumstances, the standard deviation can be negative. That's false, because if your base number was negative, you're going to, if you get a square, you get the multiple, the uh, the squared amount of that is always going to be positive, because negative times a negative is positive. So that's
Okay,
false.
I agree with you. Okay, and the following, they gave us some information. I will read it, okay? In the same study, the researchers placed thermis, thermistors,
Right.
temperature sensors in the three seals, named cheeks, starboards, and patty, near their spinal cord and brain in the extradural vein. They placed thermistors in six other seals, named Sir Richard, Jerry, Sammy, Not, Johnny's, and Butler, in their aorta, the largest artery in the body. Finally, they placed thermistors in four other seals named Bodil, Roberta, Larry, and Per in their hepatic sinus. The results from this study are summarized in the table below. Okay. Then it says which location resulted in the most consistent temperature measured from one seal to another. Okay. Here I struggle a little, but finally I determined that it was extradural because what I did is um, I saw that 0.577 was closer to the mean. So I think it is most consistent because it is not so spread, right? But I
Yep.
don't know how to explain it.
No, you explained it perfectly. I think that's exactly right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the number of hours students spent studying for an exam are recorded. The data are represented by the box plot below. Use this box plot to answer the next two questions. What is the amount of the third quartile? So the third quartile is 8 here. This is the third quartile right here. So it's 8.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. Okay, just give me a second, sorry. Dijo, estoy en una reunión. Espérenme un ratito. Ya voy a ir para, estoy en una reunión, ya voy a terminar. Sorry.
No
Okay.
problem.
The following says what percentage of the data lies between 4 hours and 8 hours? Note, list the number as a percentage and not a decimal, and don't include the percent sign. Okay, I struggle with that. Even in the, we have a similar question in the homework quiz, I think. And, I didn't know how to do that.
Okay,
Um, can
I
you
can help
please
you.
help me?
Yeah.
I
So
will
this
okay.
this you see this line here?
Yes.
100% of all of the answers are between that line and this line here.
Okay.
So from this line here to this line here is 25% of the answers or the possible outcomes. This line
25?
25%, even though it's larger, it's just that they're spread out. They're more spread out during this part here. So 25% of the responses come in here. 25% come in here. 25% also comes in from here to here, and then another 25% from here to here. So this place here in between these two lines, that's 25. This is 25. This is 25, and this over here is 25. So this one here plus this one here is 50. So between 4 and 8 is 50% of the data.
50%.
Right. So you just answer 50.
Okay, okay.
That makes sense?
Thank you. Yes, that makes sense because a quartile is 25, right? So that's why.
Right. And so this line here represents the first quartile, the second quartile, the third quartile, and then the fourth, or the full.
Okay.
So an observation from a normally distributed population is considered unusual if it is more than 2 standard deviations away from the mean. There are several contaminants that can harm a city's water supply. Nitrate concentrations above 10 parts per million are considered a health risk for infants less than 6 months of age. The city of Rexburg reports that the nitrate concentration in the city's drinking water supply is between 1.59 and 2.52 parts per million, and values outside of this range are unusual. We will assume that the mean minus 2 standard deviations is equal to 1.59, and the mean plus 2 standard deviations is equal to 2.52 parts per million. It is reasonable to assume the measured nitrate concentrate is normally distributed. Into the mean of the measured nitrate concentration in Rexford's drinking water. So here's what we know. We know that the mean plus 2 standard deviations is 2.52, right? And minus 2 is 1.59. So if you take 1.59 and add 2.52 and divide by 2, we'll get 2.055, and that's the mean. Is that the answer you got?
Yes, I got it. This is the answer I got, but I did it in a different way. But
you got the same place. Yeah.
Yes, I got this. Okay, that's
good.
right. Thank you. First of all, I struggle a lot with that, but then I draw the, uh, I don't know, the bell shape. And then I was doing that. I got a no, I got a media, and then I could get the number. Thank you.
Good.
Okay. Okay. Following, let me go here. Estimate the standard deviation of the measured nitrate, I don't know, nitrate concentration in nitrate concentration. Thank you. In reservoirs drinking water. Okay. So, what I did, let me check. I divided the difference between 1.59 and 2.52 between four, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's, yes, four numbers, and then I got the media, and then I divided that, and I got a 0.233.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Next, between what two measured nitrate concentrations do approximately 68% of the data values lie? And so we know that within one standard deviation is 68%, right? And so one standard
Yes.
deviation would be this number down here. I actually thought it was 1.822, but they have 1.823. So that's the closest
Okay.
one.
Yes, I agree with you. But I was thinking that they didn't ask you here the 23 question, right?
Yeah, they didn't. That's the one I didn't understand exactly, but
Yes, I don't know how we can go with that. Maybe Gabriela got it right and she can explain us because I didn't know. I just thought
yeah, I think
the
that we already
media.
have this answer. I thought we already answered it. That's what I was concerned about.
Okay.
Because isn't that just the mean and the standard deviation right here? Didn't we already answer it? That's what was confusing to me. And I think that's why
Yes, maybe.
is I think they just asked it twice.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. The following. Uh, The admissions committees for most Masters of Business Administration MBA programs require the Graduate Management Admission Test GMAT as part of the application for new students. It has been shown that the scores on the GMAT are normally distributed with a mean of 542.3 and standard deviation of 120.54. Source Indeed.com. The minimum GMAT score required for admissions to the MAC program in the School of Accountancy at BYU is 500, but it is rare for a student with scores less than 600 to be admitted. Okay, what is the probability that a randomly selected student will score above 542.3 on the GMAT? Okay, um, I did. I didn't know. Here I struggle a little. But then I realized that we had the mean 542.3. So it was the 50%. And I did 0.5 with 50%, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. Um, and then it's what is the probability the randomly selected student will score below 600 on the GMAT? And so you have to find out your Z score here, right? And
Yes.
so that was the 600 minus 542.3, and then take that number and divide it by 120.54. And the Z score was 0.479.
Yes.
And so when we put in the Z score here, we were able to figure out the answer. And it was 0.684.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with you. So, So you got let me go. What are we here? 24, right? I know
24.
23. 23. Sorry, 23, right?
That was 23,
Yes.
but now we're on 24.
Okay. Thank you. 0.684, right? I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, and the next one, what is the probability that a randomly selected student will score 600 or above on the GMAT? So I did what we learned, 1 minus 0.684, and I got 0.316.
Great. I agree. Find the GMAT score that corresponds to the 10th percentile. So I just put up above the 0.1 in the area, and that equaled a 1.282 z-score. So then I took the standard deviation of 120.54, times it by the 1.282 z-score. That gave us 154.5323. And so you take that number and minus it from the mean, and you end up with 388.
Okay. Um, Let me go. I don't know what I got it wrong because in my notes I got 388. Yes, 388, right? Let me see. I got it
388.
wrong.
Probably did,
Let me check.
388. You probably just accidentally did 2.
Oh, yes, I wrote 0.388 and I was wrong. It was
Yeah,
just 388.
right, because that's the actual score, not a percentage. It's the actual score that they give us.
Okay, thank you. That's why. Thank you. Okay. The next one, find the GMAT score that corresponds to the 90th percentile. Okay. I also did the formula, and it was since we had 1.282.
Right.
So I did 1.2882 equals x minus 542.30 divided by 120.54. And I got 697.
Agree. Find the first quartile of the distribution of GMAT scores. And so that was a z-score of minus 0.674 equals 461.
Yes, I agree with you. The next one, find the third quartile of the distribution of GMAT scores. I also, let me go, third quartile, okay. Is I used the applet and I wrote 0.750 above the applet, and I got this was the same, 0.674. Then I did the formula again, and that's why I got 624.
Yep. Okay. And then it says consider a simple random was the mean distribution of samples. Of course, 2.3, it doesn't change. Okay. Do you agree?
I didn't hear you. Sorry, because maybe my internet is losing signal. But I just heard your answer. 31.123, right?
542.3. We're looking for the sample mean. The mean of the distribution sample. And you're right for 30.
Oh,
And you're right for 30.
sorry.
It's the 31.12.
31.12.
I'm in another one, right?
Right.
Can you go back to 29th, please?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I got it. 542.30. I got it. Thank you.
And then you gave them some. Right.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yes.
the last one, what is the probability of the sample mean? When you have 15 students, 600. And so I'm able to we got 0.032.
I agree with you. Thank you, Ben.
Okay. And if we submit this, we should have 100%. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay, that was great. Thank you very much, Ben.
No problem. And I'll post this tonight. If I can find it.
Okay.
I'll stop